One of the most common issues I see with strength training is people with shoulder issues, and that's from years of benching and just absolutely annihilating their shoulders, just doing the same things or just pounding them with heavy weights. Let's practice a movement that's going to help build some strength, some mobility, some resilience through multiple ranges of motion that's going to assist you in just feeling and moving your best. So with the bent press, you're going to be combining this external rotation of the shoulder with a hinge, with rotation through the torso. So you have to get yourself into this relatively uncomfortable position pretty well before, especially before you load it. So the first thing I always recommend is just being able to practice this without any weight. So keeping your arm tucked to your body, you're going to open up your shoulder, pull your shoulder back while engaging your lat. That just cramped like a mother. Anyway, so you're going to pull and squeeze your lat into your torso. Or squeeze your lat into your tricep. If you can do this, cool. Then we'll do the next thing, which is driving the hip back. If you can do this, then I want you to rotate your torso. So doing all this while maintaining a nice vertical forearm, because that kettlebell is going to be right here. So if I can hold this position right here, then I'm going to try the other side. So I'm going to open up, pull my arm back, tuck my tricep into my lat. I'm going to drive my hip back, and I'm going to rotate my torso. So now, in terms of foot position, I can try to keep my feet relatively straight, or I can rotate them like I would with a windmill. I prefer just to keep my feet straight as I do this, because then I can really torque underneath the bell a little bit easier. So once I feel comfortable, I'm going to grab the bell, I'm going to grab it into the rack position, keeping my feet nice and planted, or nice and straight. I'm going to pull my elbow back, rotate my torso, and just sink my hips back. So I want to be able to just feel comfortable in this position right here. And this might be as far as you go, and that's totally fine, because we want to build the strength around the shoulder joint before we start loading it and before we start adding more movements. So from here, just coming right back to that starting position. So I call this one the shoulder opener, because we're going to get the first part of the bent press into play. Now you can even take this a step back and just perform this from the shoulder and leave the hips and torso out of the equation. So just being able to practice this position right here while maintaining tension, while maintaining that extension through my upper back so I'm not rounding under the pressure of the bell, and then come right back up. Fantastic. All right, let's take it a step further. All right, different angle for you. So we're gonna get into that same starting position. So now we're gonna have the arm just in the rack position. We're gonna pull that shoulder back, pull that elbow back into our back pocket, into our lat, connecting everything. So from right here, I'm going to squeeze the bell, squeeze my tricep, and as I lower, I'm going to slightly rotate, not excessively, because I don't want to focus too much on that rotation because you'll put a lot more tension on the shoulder. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my torso down while maintaining that bell in that exact same position. So I'll get down low enough to where I'll squat, but I can even keep my hips up and make it more of a like windmill variation here. But from right here, I'm going to pull that bell back into starting position, and then repeat. So I like to do it in that variation first, where I'm coming down underneath the bell and then keeping the bell in that same height the entire time. Once that feels comfortable, then we can take it another step. But all I want you to do is just practice coming down to the level that you feel comfortable. So maybe it's just going to be right there. That's as far as you can go before you feel way too much tension. But remember, because this is called, or was called, the corkscrew press, you're corkscrewing, rotating your body as you come underneath. Okay? So pull right back and repeat. And I love this one, like I said, for building shoulder strength through just different positions that you typically don't train when you're just doing horizontal push, horizontal pull, vertical push, vertical pull. I want to take my shoulder through a wider range of motion, assuming it feels comfortable and assuming I feel ready for it. So to make it a little bit more difficult, I'm going to do that same starting position. I feel good. I'm going to come down underneath the bell. Awesome. I feel strong. Now I'm going to keep my arm locked out. I'm going to stand up, come right back down to that starting position. And so the reason this is going to be a little bit more difficult is because that shoulder mobility has to be there in order to be able to come up and get into that nice overhead position, where a lot of people lack that. That's why having that bent position in both directions makes it just a little bit easier. There's gonna be a little bit more coordination, but it's gonna be physically easier. However, like I said, you can always add a little bit more to that by coming up with that straight arm, adding that shoulder opener, coming right back up, and then playing around, like I said, with your foot position, rotating your feet, going from more of a bent press or from a windmill position. But the main thing I want you to make sure when you're doing this is that you have the ability to open up the shoulder and you can get into that position safely. So if you feel any kind of impingement, anything sharp, anything that just kind of holds you back or feels a little sticky, don't do the full range of motion. Go to the range that you feel comfortable with and then expand on that. Go lighter than you think. Use body weight, because the whole point here is we're just trying to build strength from multiple planes, multiple positions, so that way we become a more resilient, stronger human. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. And if you like my stuff, make sure to like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.